My name is David. I live in the Philippines. Today we're going to talk about age gap intervention. What is age gap intervention? It's where I live here and a well-meaning friend who lives here and has never met my wife says something like, "You're out of control. You're destroying your life." I will be honest, my wife is 30 years younger than me. This is a video of her taken New Year's Eve. This is 7 weeks after she gave birth to twins. The first age gap intervention I experienced was my friend of 2 decades, Trent. He asked me, "Does she speak English?" Now, in Trent's defense, he was looking at Facebook. I had been posting pictures of my girlfriend, now my wife, because I needed a timeline for the embassy when I apply for a visa showing that we're in a relationship. I never told Trent how old my girlfriend was. She was 27 at the time. She looks much younger. What Trent was really asking me was, why would such a pretty young woman want to be with a fat old guy like you? Which is a pretty valid point, Trent. Trent's question is age gap and why it works. That's a video I haven't made yet. The home country intervention crew doesn't realize I have a solid group of friends in the Philippines. These guys would step in if I was getting abused by a succubus. To demonstrate, I'm going to compare my peers to those of this guy's. I bumped into this guy on P. Burgos and I don't know his name. I'm going to guess his name is Tim, and his nickname with his friends is probably T-Bone. I met T-Bone and his posse while shooting filler video in Burgos. I crossed Makati Ave's 6 lanes. I was looking out for cars and focused on my phone's camera. As I crossed the street, T-Bone and his buddies poured out of a bar and swarmed onto the sidewalk. You can hear me politely making my way through them. I said several times, which is "excuse me, ate." As I walked away, T-Bone screamed after me, "Wucking Fanker." You can rearrange the letters yourself. We will now compare my peer group to that of T-Bone. You can see here that T-Bone's gang includes 2 masseuses. One of my closest friends in the Philippines is a retired police officer. T-Bone's cronies include a P. Burgos beggar, complete with a sash for her baby. My cronies include a retired facilities manager at a hotel. T-Bone's horde includes a woman wearing a jaunty dress. My group of friends includes a software executive. I don't think he wears dresses, jaunty or otherwise. T-Bone's mafia contains a guy wearing a midget boxing t-shirt. My group of friends includes an entrepreneur trying to open a craft whiskey distillery. I've got a good blend of solid friends. Oh, good blend. A craft whiskey joke. Someone in T-Bone's entourage may have been in medical distress. If this was the case, I hope it had a positive outcome. I wouldn't know. I was shooting video. I only went through the footage in such minute detail because someone screamed at me, "Wucking Fanker." Back to the US-based interventions. The second intervention I experienced was from an attorney named Jennifer. We were talking about prenuptial agreements, and Jennifer asked me, can she read? Now, she wasn't asking if my future wife, prenups come before you get married, if my future wife could read. She was really asking if my future wife could read English so that she could review the prenup with her own attorney. But of course, my wife can read English. The final intervention I experienced was the harshest. It was from a friend named Betty, and Betty ripped into me about how I was leading a different life. Nobody else had a younger wife. Nobody else was having kids at this age. Betty dropped her second child at 45. Her husband was 7 years older. He was 52 when Betty's son was born. I was 59 when my twins were born. Anytime you pass judgment on someone else's age gap, you run certain risks. I have a 30-year age gap. If I pass judgment on someone with a 40-year age gap, well, it's only 10 years different than mine. When Betty passed judgment on my age gap and having kids, it was only 7 years different than her husband. You need to look at the relationship and how the people treat each other to judge whether or not age gap is a good or bad thing. I think the source of the interventions is people don't recognize how fantastic the Philippines is. You want to lead a P. Burgos lifestyle like T-Bone? Enjoy. You want to move to the province and open a sari-sari store? Great, fantastic life. You want to live in a cyber city, work remotely, and raise a family? Another great life. This place is paradise. Why aren't you here?